Hey guys, Andrew here with another video. This is my third episode in my series called Being Bigger Than Life, and in this episode I'm going to talk a little bit about creativity and imagination. And so, just like with all of my other videos in this series, my goal is to help people who were in a similar position to me where they lived a whole, 14, 15, 16, and some people 30 years of their life not knowing what their true core essence was. I mean, like, they had belief in religion, they had belief in spirituality, but it's hard for them to connect the lines on where that actually comes into being and where they actually are at, because it's not something you can see, And so, that's what this episode is going to be about, is just how creativity and imagination actually does connect you to the spiritual realm, kind of. It connects you to, like, the whole universe. If you've ever heard that, like, there's body, mind, and soul, right? And so body is like the physical representation of the physical. The mind is like a representation of the whole universe. You just need to know how to use that, how to tap into your mind in order to kind of just be able to imagine what the universe is. And all of us have that ability to tap into our own imagination and creativity, and to kind of get, like, input from the universe. If you want to think of the universe as a living, live organism, then all you have to do is tap into that creative and imaginative area, and you're going to be able to start to receive kind of messages and input from the universe. And then the soul is what's outside of the universe. It's what expands further than like the everything. It's like when you're no longer talking time, when you're no longer talking form, that's when you start tapping into your spiritual kind of aspects. And so, it took me like at least 16, 17 years in order to be able to even realize, like, how connected I was to those things. And so that's what this episode is. I want to share that with you, how you're connected to creativity, imagination, the whole universe as a whole, and I might be able to fit in a little bit about your spirit too while I'm in there. So first off, I want to just say sorry about kind of the background noise. It's just my heater. It's winter time. You might be able to see the snow out there, so we gotta have that going. And since I'm down in our basement, the heat is just like blowing super loud, because that's where our heater's at. But anyways, I hope it doesn't bug you too much, and it might even turn off halfway through the video, but I'm not just gonna, like, wait for it to turn off when I feel like I want to talk about this right now. So anyways, on to the topic. So imagination, alright? Imagination, the process that imagination comes about is kind of simple, kind of not simple. It's like, if I'm to tell you, hey, imagine a banana, then you can automatically just imagine a banana, right? You imagine, like, a peeled banana maybe at first, but then that peeled banana turns into a full banana, and then maybe you just picture a monkey there with it, because why not? It's not like it wastes any energy using imagination or anything. And so that's what imagination is, right? It's kind of your ability to picture something, like, to just be aware of it. Like, I'd say picture it with your third eye, but I don't even know what that is, so I don't want to say that to those people who do actually know what that is. And so, just kind of, like, use your imagination. Using your imagination is to kind of picture something, alright? And so, the thing about imagination is that, a lot of the time it's hard to use your imagination, because that kind of vision, that kind of area is clouded up with all kinds of things. For example, if you just take a second to, like, sit back and just, like, imagine whatever you want, there's going to be some kind of interesting things that pop into your head. Maybe, like, the main character from a movie you're watching or a television show, or, like, just a super awesome headshot that you got while you're playing Call of Duty or something like that, that's just replaying in your head. And there's just all these images that just kind of replay in a loop inside of your mind. And if you're able to kind of recognize them and just push them away, it's kind of hard to explain how to push them away, but it's just like when you start seeing it, you need to recognize it, and then you need to kind of just tell yourself, like, hey, that's not important, that's not a part of who I am. It's like that movie, I like that character, I think it's a cool character, but he doesn't need to be blocking up my headspace, basically. And so when you become in a state of mindfulness, then you're able to kind of imagine things that are more out of the box, that aren't so much related to your life, and are instead, they're still related to your life, but it's not something necessarily that you've ever even seen. It's just something that's going to help you grow and become better. So imagination is kind of a tool that we have in order to give imagery to something and to kind of relate with it. And you want to kind of be in tune with your imagination so that you can create from a place of individuality, create from a place that nobody's ever seen before. It's not something that everybody sees every time they play Call of Duty, or everybody sees every time they watch Walking Dead, but something that no one's ever seen, that you completely imagined and came up with by yourself. And just because it's imaginary doesn't mean it's not real. That's the thing, right? If it's not able to be seen, then how can you prove it's real? Well, if it's real for you, it works. It's like the placebo effect, if you are able to imagine it, if it fits into your reality and you can kind of live according to it, then shoot, at least give it a shot. What's the damage done? No energy wasted using imagination, right? And so imagination is a great tool in that way. And then creativity, I think of in a similar way, but it's kind of more like it has to do with your subconscious mind. It's still part of your mind, not quite in the soul level, but it has a little bit to do with it, in my opinion. So if you picture somebody doing art, right, that's what you picture creativity. But I want to point out that creativity is also in any sport. It's also in any skill. Just like even if you're working at a fast food joint and you're the fry guy, then you're going to find creative ways to go about cooking your fries. And just so long as you're open to letting that creativity in, then you're going to be able to learn quicker, you're going to improve quicker, and you're going to have really, really freaking awesome fries. Or as far as sports go, you're just going to your subconscious mind is going to kind of take over at some points. My dad's a soccer player, and so the way he explains it as far as sports goes is just that whenever he doesn't have the ball, he's just kind of playing. He's just kind of watching. He's trying to be open and everything. But as soon as he gets the ball, a switch is flipped, and it's just boom. No longer is he even thinking about what he does. His subconscious mind takes over, uses all of the information that he's gathered up about where his opponents are and where his players are at, and 25 years of experience in the sport. Creativity puts all of that into play in a second and then uses it for however long he has the ball control. So I like to think of creativity as like a spotlight. It's like the way I like to think of it is like God literally shining a light down on you, and it's just like, boom, it's your time to shine. And because you have this spotlight, just imagine yourself being like extra empowered. You're like more able to perform. It's something that everybody else is going to witness, and so you're going to do it really well. And so the reason I think it's kind of connected to your spirit and your mind is that not only is your subconscious mind at work, but it seems almost like God comes in and kind of puts things into place for you. And when he puts those things into place for you, they're not even necessarily something that you've ever learned. They're not even necessarily something that you thought would work. It's not necessarily something that you particularly were planning to do, but at the end of the day, not only does it work, but it works 250,000 times better than anything you could have possibly came up with. It's like any really good artist knows that their best art, isn't because they're a freaking good artist with really good technique. It's because they were straight lucky. It's because that creativity came in. It's because they know how to harness their creativity and give glory to the creative energy that's outside of you. Again, it's the universe. If you think of it as an organism that's kind of sending something into you to express out into the world. It basically, a good way for me to think about creativity is when you actually embrace it and harness it, then the world's going to use you as a catalyst to express a message out towards other individuals. And so that's what creativity and imagination is in my book, and I hope that you can relate to it, and I hope you realize how valuable both of these things are. It's just like two of the very core aspects of being human, of the human mind, more or less, and, every single one of us have a mind, and even people who have lost their mind are probably just a little bit over the bend with their creation and imagination, and so, it's like, that's another topic, but yeah, it's just like, I wanted to share that with you guys so that you knew, how much potential everybody has. You don't only have to rely on yourself for things. You are particularly created and meant for a really great and awesome purpose, and all you need to do is be in the right place at the right time, in the right mind state with the right amount of mindfulness, and then you don't even have to do anything. Your subconscious mind is going to take over, do everything based on what you have done in the past and what you have accomplished in the past, and then, if you're really lucky, if you're really lucky, then, God's grace will come in and share a little bit of super awesomeness with the rest of the world. So yeah, that's how awesome we really are. That's how important we all are, and I hope that helps you to understand, like I said at the beginning, that you're bigger than just your body, that you are as big as the whole universe, and you even extend outwards into the universe, or into timelessness and formlessness and things that cannot be explained with any kind of language. You're part of that. You are able to express that. You're able to do that. And so, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your night, morning, evening, whatever it might be. And peace out. Have a good one.